Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Clear the Ice, a Flyers post-game show here on the Edge of Philly Sports tonight. Once again, manned by your boy Matty B and my Mayfair cohort, Mr. Pat the Gobbler from Ambler. I feel a little, Pat. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel a little empty inside tonight because I watched what I watched over the last 2.5, 3 hours, whatever it was. I watched a golden opportunity for a young team like the Flyers to just really kind of break the door down to the National Hockey League, to the Rangers, Madison Square Garden, Manhattan, all that nonsense, and tell them, hey, we're here, we're back. A complete domination by the Flyers for the first 36 minutes of this hockey game. And they only had a 2-1 lead to show for it. A lot of missed opportunities on the ice, and then what ensued was that crazy, wacky third period that the Flyers seem to be involved in a lot these days with crazy third periods. 6-5 Flyers fall in overtime. They kept battling back, Pat, but I can't get over the first 36 minutes of this game and how we had an opportunity to kind of put this thing away and just couldn't for whatever reasons. And we'll probably get into a few of those reasons tonight. How you doing tonight?
Well, good to see you too, Matt. And again, 48 hours ago, you and I were just breaking down the Flyers and Florida game, which again they came out flat in their own home. So again, to me, I completely understand the Flyers looked again kind of in that out of sorts in that first period where they could have made some magic happen. But however, in some weird fashion or another, they held off this New York Rangers team off in that first period. So I'll give them their due for that. I'll give them their B plus for that. Which struck me is this team again bound this Rangers team down to the wire at the top of the hill right now in the NHL Eastern Conference. You took this Rangers team down to the wire. It just again my frustrations, and I get it. He's still a rookie, but there are some major bugaboos for me from what I'm seeing out of Tim Harrison. And there's plays he can be making, and I don't understand. And like I said, maybe this is year one, but when the lights get bright, he starts to choke up just a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, those goals from space, those goals out there in the slot, those goals from beyond the slot, are just are becoming a trend with Sam Ersson. He does seem to have problems with handling the puck through traffic. Tonight was no different for that. A lot of those goals were kind of, you can make a case they could have made saves on those. That one goal at the end of the game that bounced over his shoulder into the net, what are you going to do there? That was one of those fluky type goals. But Pat, I mean, in the first period where, and we didn't have any scoring at all, I saw a team in the Flyers, living in the New York Ranger, I was going to say New York Giants, New York Ranger offensive zone. There was a stretch of play for about a minute 20. I think it was from like the 14-minute mark to about 12:50 in the first period. The Flyers had sustained pressure. I mean, when I say sustained, I mean they were in the zone the entire time, and they just couldn't finish the job. You had a Bobby Brink breakaway in that period. They couldn't finish the job. The Flyers, this is the story of them all year. They generate opportunities. They're a very electric team when it comes to those outlet passes. They are transitionally one of the better teams in the National Hockey League. You just can't put the puck in the net, Pat. I know Shesterkin is one of the best goalies in the world. It seems like we say this every night, or whoever the Flyers are going up against. But you got to take advantages of those types of opportunities when you're playing, as you said, right now, the best team in hockey. You got to take those advantages.
Yeah, I totally agree. Again, like I said, there was a plenty of opportunity for scoring out there. They did not get any luck finding it back in the net. And again, that was the scary part for this team. Like you said, you want to set the tone of the game. You immediately got to start unloading. Just unloading. As the great one says, every shot you don't take is one miss. So again, you had to try and find the back of the net on that one, especially in that first period.
Yeah, and Steve chimed in here and says the last 3 Ranger goals had 2 Flyer injuries and interference not called. I was pissed. Steve, I think you're referring to the was it the Konechny Zibanejad, when Zibanejad ran into Konechny behind the play and then ended up being involved in the goal in that goal. I could see where you could I could see where that could be considered interference, but here's probably what the refs saw. The refs saw 2 players involved behind essentially the puck. They weren't involved in the puck. The puck was ahead of them. Zibanejad was skating. He has a right to the ice. Konechny can't, just camp out in front of him. Now, granted, I hear what you're saying, but Zibanejad has the right to skate, and he has the right to skate where he wants to skate. And but I understand what you mean. Zibanejad did have that look on his eye, like, "Ooh, I'm gonna, roll him over." But I can definitely see where that penalty was not called, and I definitely could have seen where that penalty could have been called. I don't think it was as egregious as a lot of people might think, and know it looked that way. But you got to understand the flow of the game, the pace of the game. Those two players were not necessarily part of the game at that moment in time.
Yeah, and and to that play though, like you said, I know, like I get like I see Steve's point. He's worried about the interference. No, Savannah, again, to me, clear cut shot, and listen, unfortunately, TK got in the way, so
yeah,
it happens.
And then he mentions, why wasn't Paling out there on the first OT shift? Is he hurt? He might be hurt, but Couturier wasn't out there either. I mean, he's your best face-off man on the team, and when you're in a 3-on-3 situation, every face-off counts, and they didn't even bring Couturier out there in the overtime. I guess whatever's going on between him and Tortorella is not quite over yet. But all in all, Pat, the gauntlet is over. The 7-game gauntlet is complete. I believe now they were 2-2 and what was that? 2. What I want to say, 3-2-1. Does that sound about? No. 2-2-2. 2-2-3. Does that sound about right? I don't.
I want to say they lost the first two. They did okay. Then they won against Boston. What is it? I lost count, but no, regardless.
3-1-1, 3-1-2. 3-1-3 was the final of the gauntlet. 3-1-3. So only one regulation loss, or 3-2-3. There you go. 3-2-2.
3-2-2. Okay.
I'm gonna go with 3-2-2.
Broke it down. We finally broke it down.
3-2-2. I believe so. That would be 6. That's 8 points out of a possible 14. Pat, how do you feel about that?
Hey, listen, I'll take it. Again, when I looked at last week, and I broke this down with that, when I took a look at it, I said, listen, if they could take 5 points in just this little stretch from Toronto to Boston, I'd be happy with that. And they did. They took 5 points. Again, Sunday was not their best effort. It was not, however, just a little bit in response as far as productivity. I thought this team did okay. Again, you kind of set the tone, being up 2 goals on this Rangers team. You kind of had things going in that second period in your favor.
Yeah, we did, and let's not waste any time because we have 11 goals we got to go through. So let's turn our attention to the box score. No goals in the first period as the Flyers dominated the period. Let's get that straight. They dominated the period in every aspect except for putting the puck in the net. They outshot the Rangers 15-9. So heading into the second period, the Flyers would finally get things going. Scott Laughton, his 13th goal of the year. Travis Konechny gets the assist, his 32nd, and I believe it was Sanheim his 32nd assist. Pat, why don't you take us through that first goal, if you would?
Yes, loved every stretch of it. To talk about stretch, it's the stretch passing from Travis Sanheim to Travis Konechny through the neutral zone, finds Scott Laughton coming through, fast wrister, finds the back of net. And that's what set the tone of the game. Surprisingly, a nice, sharp Scott Laughton goal. I loved it. I love that whole play, that whole sequence right there.
Yeah, kudos to Konechny with the presence of mind to lift that head up and see Laughton kind of just streaking through right through the seam, actually, right up center ice. Got behind the Ranger defense and finished it with a beautiful goal, as you said. It was a natural, gorgeous goal. Flyers up 1-0 at this point, and then Ryan Paling on the elusive power play. He would get his 10th of the season from Scott Laughton, his 24th, and Igor Zamula, his 15th. This was a pretty goal too, Pat, I thought. When you look at this goal a little bit, there's a lot of presence of mind. There's a lot of good hockey things happening in this goal. The number one thing that the presence of mind of Ryan Paling, once he kind of joined the play, to kind of stay home, stay in front of that net. And the Rangers, for some odd reason, lost track of Ryan Paling standing in front of the net. He was part of the initial rush into the zone, and then he kind of just stays there. He does what any good hockey forward should do in the power play. He sits behind the net and behind the defense, and he's rewarded on a pretty goal. I got to give that one on the Ranger defense for kind of losing track of Ryan Paling.
Yeah, and again, that's something you don't see from a Peter Laviolette type. Again, especially being on the defense, right? You're on the power play. You're thinking the Rangers are going to kind of just zone in and protect their goalie, and they're more about 15 feet away from the goalie, and two defenders, excuse me, are out far enough where. Like you said, Pelling is just hanging by himself on an island, just waiting for that puck to come to him, and boom, he finds the back of net as a redirect.
Yeah, yeah, it reminds me of the Flyers on defense at times, but the Flyers were the benefactors of this one, and the Rangers, Pat, the Rangers in this game were not full strength either. They were down Alex Weinberg, they're down Eric Gustafsson, they're down Jacob Trouba, Ryan Lindgren's out, Ben Harper's out. Listen, there's some people that really contribute to the Rangers' cause. They're out too. So I'm not giving the Rangers a pass or anything like that, but they were not playing at full speed. But they would get things getting going here for themselves. Zibanejad, his 24th from Panarin, his 57th assist, and Fox, I believe his 57th as well, would get the Rangers back in this game 2-1. This is one of those. Again, the Flyers shorthanded lately has not been all that in a bag of chips. But listen, Pat, in all intents and purposes, this goal by Zibanejad in the slot, or actually beyond the slot, almost up on the circle, shooting from distance, no pressure on him, which I can live with no pressure in that position, in that particular place on the ice, because that's a relatively safe area. Your goaltender has to make that save. There was some traffic in front of him, but once again, Sam Ersson, who has demonstrated some issues with seeing the puck through traffic, gets beat bad by a relatively simple shot.
Yeah, that's the one. I get it. Like you said, Mika yes, I can't pronounce. I'm not going to butcher that last name, but
Zibanejad.
Zibanejad. But look, Zibanejad. Look, you've seen it. Again, this dude's a playmaker, and again, one of those guys that just know how to throw daggers at this Flyers team, and he does, man. He gets himself a nice, perfect pass just when traffic is just getting in front of Sam Harrison. This guy shoots a laser, and like you said, it could have been stopped, but some reason, again, part of Sam Harrison's flaws is he can't stop for whatever reason. These look to be, in baseball terms, a ground ball, and sometimes these ones get by him. So, again, kudos to Zibanejad for coming up, making that quick goal like that. Again, nice little power play goal from them. As soon as he sees traffic, he unloads.
Think we lost Pat. Am I here?
First goal of the night for the Rangers.
Yep, yeah, first goal of the night, indeed, and that was actually Adam Fox's 48th assist, not his 57th. As I mentioned, it was Panarin's 57th. It was 2-1 at that point. That goal was at the 15:58 mark of the second period, and that would be your final. That would be your score, 15:28 mark. Sorry, that would be your score heading into intermission. 2-1 Rangers. The Flyers again would outshoot the Rangers in that period, 12-9. But Pat, you just kind of felt the momentum kind of switch a little bit with that Zibanejad goal. I mentioned the 36-minute plus of domination that the Flyers had in this game. Well, that was about to change. Was right out into the third period. Brodzinski, Johnny of the Rhode Island Brodzinskis. I mean, I don't know how you. I don't really know the origins. Anyway, he would score his sixth goal. Kako would get the assist, his fifth of the season. Pat, just a bad another to me a real bad goal there.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Johnny Brzezinski, I kind of find just the way we forced a turnover and said, "Here, give me the puck. I'm going to score right now." And there's going to be two things you do about it, nothing like it. And that's pretty much just what happened on that play. I mean, the Flyers came out just kind of dried mouth right from the shoot, and the Rangers just came out again, like you said, feeling a little bit of the momentum was changing, and just like that, they just get themselves right on the scoreboard.
Yeah, the turnover by Johnson down there in the corner, and the Flyers were kind of caught. Puck was thrown back out front, and I could have probably scored that goal. But again, Pat, a little bit closer than the slot. I'll give you that. But a clean look. Our goaltender didn't look like he was interested in making that save. So we have ourselves now a 2-2 game until Alexis Lapeniere. Sorry, I said that correctly. I can do this.
I like it. I like it.
His
it took me about 400 takes.
Yeah, no. Hey, hockey's the wrong sport, and I'm not good at names at all. and hockey is definitely the wrong sport for you not to be able to pronounce people's names. But
Yes.
Lapierre, his 21st unassisted, yeah, innocent looking enough play, that zone entry by the Rangers, and well, here's something, and this is that funky one that kind of they take it to the net, it bounces around, it bounces up.
Yeah.
Lapierre kind of swats at it, it goes over Sam Erson's shoulder, gives the Rangers that 3-2 lead. I'm hard pressed to give Erson any backlash on this one. It was just one of those fluky type goals.
Yeah, listen, and that's going to happen in this league where, again, freak luck happens, and unfortunately, it just went against the Flyers in that one. Like you said, Alexei just kind of they forced it in there and then just kind of bounce until
Pat, Pat, you there?
it lit for the Rangers. So he won.
You there, Pat?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh yeah, I lost you there for a second. All right, no, we're good now. Okay. All right, so where was I? So but Pat, Flyers wouldn't be done. We're gonna get this thing going right because we're the Flyers. Flyers down 3-2, but here comes Travis Konechny on an interesting play. I forget the name of the Ranger, but he shoots a very wonky angle. It goes high off the glass. It was really a bad left angle shot. Probably shouldn't have shot that puck, but it kind of caroms around and it ends up springing Travis Konechny on the breakout 2-on-1. This is where the Flyers struggled all night in trying to execute these odd man rushes, but on this one, it was played perfectly by TK as he went short side to tie things up 3-3. Konechny's 31st unassisted, and we got ourselves a game again, Pat.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you just, as you mentioned, the odd man rush between him and Owen Tippett, trying to throw their defenseman off guard a little bit. And of course, with TK, man, one thing we love about TK's game, he is quick, he is fast, he's got quick accuracy, and boy, when he's on, he's on. And in this game, he was on his game, and boom, right there, it was kind of not 5-shot, but it was right between the armpit where he would just make that laser wrister, and boom, it gets right in there.
But now, here come the Rangers. Vincent Trocheck, his 25th from Zibanejad, his 39th assist of the year. Flyers again kind of caught deep in another bad turnover, and this is the play with the Zibanejad push down that wasn't called, and then Trocheck pushed him down and then ended up scoring the goal. I was the recipient of that. Stephen alluded to a bad interference non-call. If you look at it a couple different times, I see what he's saying, but I don't know. I know if I was on the ice at real time, I would have looked at this as coincidental contact. One guy's trying to go up ice, the other guy was in his way. It wasn't intentional at real time. Now you can look back on this thing over and over and over again and have a different type of attitude about it. But Trocheck's his 25th. Short-handed, Pat. That is something we haven't done really all year, is give up a short-handed goal.
No, that's one of our better parts of our game. It's, again, this is not like us to give up a short-handed goal, or a power play goal, but short-handed goal rather. And of course, like you said, you're talking about the play again. This is where the Rangers now beat us on the odd man rush and find the back end of the net. So kudos to the Rangers. Again, now this becomes the seesaw game.
Yeah, back and forth. Who's gonna blink first? But Pat, on the actual goal there, we're really quick to kind of get on Erson's goat, and we are, and I am, you are, we all are.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing you're gonna do in that. But he was his beat. There was nothing you're gonna do on that
right.
play.
No, and especially with a playmaker like Zibanejad.
No. All right, so the Flyers, here they come. Owen Tippett now on his 26th of the season from Morgan Frost, his 28th. Flyers this time are the ones that are going to produce some turnovers here as they take possession of the puck behind their own net. Nice little breakout, and there's that transition pass that we love. Tippett springs wide open breakaway. Nice nifty backhand. Beats Shazurkin top shelf. And again, we got ourselves a game 4-4 at this point. What's your take on that, Pat?
Oh, I loved it. Again, this is Morgan Frost is starting to come along. Again, I know it's
Yeah.
late in the season, but what better time to come along? Again, there's been a few games where he's been making goals, but in this one right here, he facilitates it to Owen Tippett, makes a nice little stretch pass, finds him right there in transition, and Tippett pays it, gets the ticket, and finds the back of the net. And yeah, again, the Flyers will not go away that easy. And just look at that pass. He kind of gets that nice little breakaway there, and gets his urchin kind of like looking over the place.
Yeah, and the Flyers have lived and died with that play all season long. That outlet pass to try to kind of create that separation, create that odd man rush, create that breakaway opportunity. It worked yet again tonight. Pat, while I was watching this game, I made an observation that maybe you can help me out with. How is it that the New York Rangers can go from, say, John Van Riemsbrook, Mike Richter, Henrik Lundqvist, and Shazurkin, and we go from Pelle Lindbergh to still waiting for the next one? How do the Rangers fall into 4 Hall of Fame goalies in a row, mind you, back to back to back to back, where we can't even catch a break on one after the one we had in the mid '80s? Tell me how that works, Pat.
You know what, Matt? You bring up a solid question, because I don't know. This is how I don't know what it is about some of these franchises. They could just find diamonds in the rough with the blink of an eye. I mean, they got good farm systems. Again, you talked about the Rangers, who have had plenty of goaltenders. You have, like teams like the Penguins. You go from Mario Lemieux to Sidney Crosby. You don't haven't yet to miss a beat. Us, on the other hand, we're still waiting for the next Eric Lindros. We're still waiting for the next at least Ron Hextall to come through something, and yet this is what we've come to. We've come to just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it makes no sense if you ask me. So we got 4-4 at this point, but here come the Rangers. Alexis Lafreniere again, his 22nd this time, unassisted on this one. This was a backbreaker, Pat. I really thought this was the game, and again, here we go again with the a weird kind of face-off loss by the Flyers.
Yeah,
The puck kind of comes out, gets deflected right back in front. Urson looked like he didn't have no idea where that puck was, and he gets beat arm side again. And this time not through traffic. I mean, there might have been some there, but Pat, it's a point blank shot at the NHL level. You can't allow those to happen. But we got a 5-4 game now, Pat.
yeah, and this one here again, this is kind of like an offensive rebound they got, because the one hit right off the TK, TK goes down. He's laying him, right at the faceoff circle, and then right from there, and again, I don't know where is Sam Harrison's head, because it's not in this game. I don't know if he's worried about TK. I mean, it's just a boom, boom, and again, this kind of gets right by him. I'm looking at the play as it's going on right in front of me, and it's just over his shoulder. It's I don't know if, again, this is some parts of the league it's a little too fast for him, because he just watches things go over his shoulders, and it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
What are we doing, indeed? But the Flyers, they would not die, Pat. With less than 4 minutes left in the game, Tyson Forrester, another one of these players. I got to give credit where credit's due. Tyson Forrester, Bobby Brink, to a lesser extent, but he's definitely come along. Cam York, we've found something there. We have found a foundation to build upon. These players are the real deal. They've had great rookie campaigns. I know, this is Tyson Forrester's first full year, and all their first full years. Mm-hmm. It's actually a really good thing to see that we're having so much success with some of these young players. But Forrester, his 19th of the season unassisted, and some turnovers in front. Forrester will not be denied. He goes to the net, so to half the Rangers team, they all collide to the goalie. Puck is loose, squirting all over the place. Forrester then, in a mass of blue jerseys, tucks it in for the game tying goal at 3:41. Pat, when I was looking at this goal in real time, it was happening so fast. I thought there was maybe some interference that the Rangers could look at, but then when they look on the replay, there was interference, but it was Ranger on Ranger interference, and that's not a penalty.
Yes, it was like it was a dog pile right in front of that Rangers net. And first, as you see the referee just going like this the whole time, and then eventually he just went like this. And man, I'm telling you, like you said, youth going wild. The youth of this Flyers team has has me really, really feeling good. I know we're all waiting for the grand prize to come in here in the next couple of years, but just to be ahead of schedule with the young talent that you have, and questions start to really ponder my mind is that what if Bobby Brink never got sent down, and Torella would have had him in there
Yeah.
from the start? Where would the Flyers be right now? Would they be a higher seeded team? I don't know, but right now this young core has come together and really have put together things here, and this is the main reason why that the Flyers are in the position that they are in, is compared to what they were last year.
Yeah, and they force overtime, so we get the point. But the Rangers, with very early on, I think within 20 seconds of the OT, Adam Fox's 15th would end it. Just outworking the Flyers in that 3-on-3 situation. We're going to talk about why Sean Couturier wasn't out there for the opening faceoff. Don't know, but once again, a shot in distance with no traffic beats Urson weak side, and that was their game winner. Rangers 6-5 in the OT are the winners.
Yeah, unfortunately, again, this didn't take a long to come to an end. I was hoping, in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, this is going to go to a shootout. This is going to hold off to a shootout. We'll lose probably in a shootout. Wasn't expecting to Adam Fox to kind of just zip one right by that easy, that fast. And again, this is a major, major concern in Sam Harrison's game that he desperately needs to work on. It's just blank. This is here for you to make the big save, and one gets right by you, and it's just like, damn. It's just like you could have made that stop there, and unfortunately, you didn't.
Yeah. And that was, I mentioned, Adam Fox's 15th. It was from Trocheck, his 46th, and Panarin, his 58th. And that's your final 6-5 in overtime. Some stats of the night. The Flyers, once again, painfully outshooting the Rangers, as they pretty much do to every opponent, 41-27 tonight. Again, I just can't wrap my head around when you just about outshoot a team 2-1 and you lose 6-5. There's something to that somebody needs to investigate why that's happening. Face-off percentages, the Rangers out-faced off the Flyers 54.7 to 45.3. On the power play, the Rangers were 1 for 1. Flyers were 1 for 3. The Flyers blocked 13 shots and the Rangers blocked 17. So the Flyers, for the second straight game, were out-blocked. The Flyers gave the puck away twice, and they took it away 5 times. And there you have 6-5 now on the season. Flyers are 36-27 and 10 for 82 points. Tonight was their 73rd game, so we got 9 left, Pat, until it's over, as the Flyers are making a desperate push to try to get into the playoffs. On the goaltending front, Pat, you mentioned some of Sam Erson's problems, but there's some positive news potentially on the horizon here. Flyer draft pick Alexei Kolosov. There you go.
Very good.
Is leaving his team out there in the KHL, the Dynamo Minsk, and he is joining the Flyer organization. Now, there is some things that everyone needs to kind of understand about this move. First of all, let's talk about what he did this season. He had a pretty good year for a bad team. 47 games, he was 22, 21, and 3 with his career best of 2.39 goals against average and a 907 save percentage, which is pretty impressive for the third best hockey league in the world. That's right. I don't give KHL the provenance of number 2. It's the AHL. That's the second best league in the world, but the KHL is the third. He's going to join the Flyers, but Pat, unless the Flyers immediately assign him to the Flyers, like unless the Flyers bring him over and sign him and bring him to Philadelphia, that doesn't make any sense for happening, because right now he's never played a game in the NHL. He's never played a game in North America, for God's sakes. He's played his entire career in Russia. He needs to figure out the North American game a little bit. So more than likely, he's going to send him to the AHL. But the Flyers are no longer able to recall players at this point unless there's an emergency, unless somebody gets hurt. They've run out of their 4 mandated post-trade deadline call-ups. So he's essentially going to go down to the AHL and stay there until if Sandstrom got hurt or Urson got hurt. So you're probably not going to see him in orange and black, Pat. You'll probably see him in phantom purple this year, and that's a good possibility. But what do you think about the move to bring one of the 7 highly touted Flyer goalie prospects to North America?
Matt, again, I don't want to say this is a desperate move, but in when I'm thinking about this, okay, like you said, the majority of his time he's going to be playing for the KHL. I mean the AHL. So this is for him to get some reps. Kind of get his feet wet into our minor league system. Kind of understand how things flow here with the
Yeah.
orange and black team. And when they feel like he's not ready, or unless Samson gets hurt, or they don't believe or something happens to Sam Harrison. Maybe they feel like this guy is going to be here for a reason. He's going to be one of those diamond in the rough. Like, if he, just say he gets thrown into, it's game one, round one, whatever. Sam Harrison goes down. They throw him in there. He shows up off a little bit. What he's got, maybe maybe they're looking at he could be the savior. Maybe they have a good vibe. There's a reason why they brought him in here now. They to me they're kind of banking on one of these two goalies to get hurt. So this kid can kind of show off what he's got. And I know it sounds cruel, but I think that's what they're kind of hoping. So this way he can show what he has and trying to stay at from what his talent has and all that stuff, and see if it could pan out. And that's what they're hoping it could carry over to make a little bit of a dry run here.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's part of it as well. And I know there's probably a section of fans out there that are crying, "Hey, why can't Mitchkov do this?" Well, there's a little bit of a different situation. I don't think Alexis
Yes,
I think his contract is up, and more importantly, he's already signed his ELC with the Flyers. So, and he's over 20. So he doesn't get the under 20 slide thing happening. So essentially, his contract time is counting now. So if this season were to come and go, and he never plays for the Flyer organization, now he's got 2 years left on his contract because he's over 20. If you sign your ELC and you're under 20, it doesn't start counting against the team until they actually join the pro program. So, but his does count, and his time is ticking. So he's already burned about a year of his time off. So the Flyers are obviously trying to get some bang for their buck too. So.
Yeah. So and again, but we'll see what happens. Though it's curious. I mean, it immediately made some vibes around the league, and of course on anybody's social media platform, you've seen it. It's this is what's the first thing that registered. So again, we'll see what he's got. Like I said, we'll see how much that KHL play can transition over to the AHL.
And for those of you who are looking to get tickets to go see the new Flyer goaltender when he arrives in Lehigh Valley, apparently, or assumingly that's where he's headed, you need to head over to Sherry's Tickets because they're going to give you the best tickets for any I called them the Philadelphia Phantoms. Man, I'm trapped about 30 years in the past or 25 years in the past. They are not the Philadelphia Phantoms anymore. They are the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. They've been that way for about 10 years now. So, anyway, head over to Sherry's Tickets right now for the great prices. No hidden fees and sports, concert, theater tickets. www.sherrystickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Save an additional 10%. God damn, 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. All right, Pat. 6-5 Flyers are losers tonight in overtime. We went over some of the team stats. Let's head over now, Pat, to my favorite part of the show.
Yes, I love it.
This is actually going to be an interesting segment. I want to hear what you have to say here about this tonight. It's time now for our 3 Flyers stars of the game. All right, just a reminder back at home, this is how we do it. We choose 3 Flyer players, right? 3. I know there's probably, you could probably make a case for a couple Rangers to enter this, but we're not doing that. It's only Flyer players that we can give this award to. But before we do, I'm going to let Pat go first because I'm the host and I'm a gracious person. So, Pat, take it away.
All right. At number 3, I'm going to go Owen Tippett. I'm going to go Owen Tippett for my 3rd star of the game. Again, just being a facilitator. Again, the way he just he just has speed and tenacity and all those things, all those intangibles. Again, I just love his game. Again, he gets on the scoreboard. Part of the reason why this Flyers stayed in this fight. I loved what he saw today. Again, he gets an assist, gets a goal. I loved it. Give me Owen Tippett for number 3. Number 2, I'm going to go Lots. Again, sets the tone of the game. And then right after that, he gets the all-important assist on the power play goal, which is an area that the Flyers have been struggling in. Again, I love that. And number 1, I got to go TK. It's that's pretty bold by me. TK again just gets the assist. Just getting hit by tons of pucks and just waiting to stay in the dogfight. Just being in there. Didn't give up. Didn't go to the sidelines. Just want to be a warrior and help try and get this team a W. So I gotta go Travis Konecny to be my number one.
Yeah, Pat, I like that list so much that I pretty much have done the same thing, with the exception. I'm going to go ahead with Morgan Frost as my number 3 star tonight. I know he only made it to the score sheet on 1 assist, but his presence is out there being felt in a lot of different ways these days. He is a captain with the puck. He is a facilitator with that puck. He's always looking to kind of try to spring somebody. I do want to see him try to score more goals, but you know what? If it ain't fixed at this point, let's not break it. Maybe those scoring opportunities will come from all this. So I'm going to go with your same exact list, except I'm going to insert Morgan Frost in number 3 as for me, and Scott Lawton at 2, and then Travis Konecny as my number 1 star. So Pat, we're pretty lockstep tonight with our 3 stars of the night.
Yeah, I mean, and you mentioned about Morgan Frost. Like, if he doesn't, if he's going to be a vision guy, seeing stuff on the ice, I'm fine with that too. And
Yeah, me too.
that's one thing. That's one thing I'll give Ira Progoff. Like, he never was a great goal scorer, but he had vision. The way he can handle a stick, it was okay. So that's where I could give Morgan Frost, like, his vision. He could making this long stretch passes again, finding guys in the on the breakaways and all those things. So I'll take it. I'll take that part of the game as well.
Yeah, if he can kind of refine that, and maybe he kind of unlocked this about himself, or the coaching staff unlocked it about himself. If he can refine this ability of being a facilitator, imagine how much more potent he's going to be when we actually have some goal scorers here. And he's just going to be putting up crazy numbers with assists, crazy numbers. A lot of plus 2 or 3 games he'll probably have. So, I think somebody might have unlocked something here with Morgan Frost, because a month ago, I'm wanting to send him out of here. I mean, he was traded already in my mind a month ago. He was a non-entity. He was about as useful as Cam Atkinson is, and all of a sudden he turned a corner over the last month. So, all right, there you have our 3 stars of the game. Pat, why don't you take us around the National Hockey League on this Tuesday?
Oh, I will definitely do that for you guys. And of course, guys, this is going to be a lot of fun. Guys, if we had 12 games on the night, 12. So let's quickly go through them again. Another heavyweight fight in the Eastern Conference. You had the Bruins and the Panthers. Bruins take one away, win 4-3 down in South Beach, as they would handle things down there. The Hurricanes get spanked in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh don't have much for a playoff fight anymore, but they have to fight for pride. And they were refused to lose at home, winning 4-1. The Capitals still fighting for their playoff lives. Ovi's still trying to make things happen. Of course, the Capitals win today, 4-3 tonight. Then you head down into Toronto, and the Devils. That's right, those Devils are a pesky team, and they win 6-3 up there in Toronto. And then, of course, right now in the third period, you have the Golden Knights heading in Nashville. It's tied right now, 4-4, going back and forth a little bit. And of course, speaking of tie games, you have the Oilers in Winnipeg going back and forth, 3-3 right now. Kind of things are going back and forth. And then, of course, right here, the Blackhawks taking care of business at home. It's third period, but they're winning 4-0 over those Calgary Flames. And then, of course, those Canadians out there in Colorado, and there you are winning 2-1 right now at the top in the middle of the second right there. And then, of course, getting things started on the West Coast, you have the Blue Jackets up 1 over the Yotes right now over there in the desert. And then, of course, the Ducks are losing to the Kraken up there in Seattle, 1-0. And of course, the Stars will be facing at 10:30 against those San Jose Sharks, and that should be a good one. But guys, listen, teams are still bound for positions. Guys are those bottom feeder teams are just seeing what they got for the future. So that's where you could be an interesting game for the Sharks. The Sharks really have nothing much to play for, but again, they probably got some pieces they want to see in the future. So guys, that's around the horn, and guys, that'll be it. And of course, your Philadelphia Flyers, like mentioned, in overtime, losing 6-5 up there in MSG.
And real quick at the updated standings in the Eastern Conference, where that's the conference that really matters. The Rangers, with their victory tonight, have clinched a playoff berth. They are officially going to go to the playoffs as they eclipsed the 100-point mark on the season. Tonight's win gave them .99 and .100. The Flyers are still in third place in the Metro, but by the slimmest of margins. They are only 1 point ahead of the Washington Capitals, who now have 81 points. The Flyers have 82. But they are looking good, though, as far as if they were to fall to the Capitals. The Red Wings are the next closest in the wild card. They have 79 points, so we have a little bit of a gap there, but it is not much. Things are definitely getting tight. The Columbus Blue Jackets are also the first team in the Eastern Conference to be eliminated officially from playoff contention. So there's your updated scores and your updated standings here on this Tuesday night. And this segment, let's do that, Pat. This segment of the program was brought to you by the there it is, the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, 5400 Fern Boulevard, Drexel Hill, PA, at the Holiday Inn and Suites at the Delbrook Event Center. It is the new official sponsor of the Fight Is Final, because if you didn't know, and you might not, but I think you do, baseball is returning in about less than 48 hours, if weather permitting, hopefully. And we will be back with the Fight Is Final for season number 3. And this year we're going to have some new things in store for you. And one of those new things is we're going to be doing pre- and post-game shows live at the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar. The first one of these events is going to be held on April the 7th. We'll be doing a pregame and a postgame show. Phillies, Washington Nationals, starting at 11. And I know Pat's show will also be live that day. The P&M and the AM program will be preceding our pregame show on that Sunday. So make sure you're checking everything out at the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar. And I'd like to welcome them aboard and cannot wait. And actually, I'm looking forward to working with them throughout this baseball season. As far as the hockey schedule goes, we are not done here, because we're gonna burn the candle on 7 different ends. Thursday, you're gonna have an interesting Thursday. And if you like Al, if you like yourself some Big Al, well, get ready for Thursday, because there's Thursday. Me and Big Al got the call for the Flyers and Canadians, but also, let's take a look at this. Me and Big Al also got the call for the Braves Phillies home opener. So we're going to do the Fight Is Final, take a little bit of a break, watch the Flyers game, and then come on back and give you the Clear the Ice as well. And then on Saturday, Mike and Pat will get their shot at Connor Bedard, as the Chicago Blackhawks will make their inaugural visit with Mr. Bedard on Saturday to the Wells Fargo Center. So Pat and Mike get you on Saturday, and then you'll see them right away again on Sunday morning, as they'll go almost back to back as well. So busy week
that
here.
Can be painful for people.
It's gonna be a lot. Yeah, it's a very busy week here on the network. Pat, 6-5 Flyers fall in overtime. Give me your last takes on this thing, and how are you feeling right now? One, about the Flyers' potential to make the playoffs, and how frustrating are these types of losses starting to become now, because we see this team as a team that can hang. They can hang with anybody. We've seen them. They can hang with anybody in this league, but it's not about hanging. It's about winning. And they got something. They don't got it all, but they got something different than they had last year. Is it starting to become frustrating for you to watch them lose these types of games?
Well, like I said, I know everybody thought, I was crazy about 2 months ago, because everyone still looked at this just to be as a rebuild. And look, and it still is, right? So this team's just a little bit ahead of schedule. But now you guys understand what I was feeling, because now the playoffs are just right here at our fingertips. You want to win. You want to see your team, you have success. You just want to keep winning. That's what makes us Philadelphians feel great. But, when I see it, though, like I said, I'm seeing all the progress. But ... Now it does become alarming that the fact that our goaltending, and I get it, he's greener than the grass, right? He's greener than his Kelly Green Eagle jerseys. We get it, but there's still parts of his game, and I don't know if it's a coaching thing. I don't know what it is that really needs to be worked on. If he could come up and play just a little bit more solid between the pipes, this team has responded as offensively tonight as I've seen from what I saw on Sunday. Again, that first period you could have done some damage, but you still put up 2-0. You were up on a 2-0 lead up in the second, and you had things in the palm of your hands. Unfortunately, like you said, the losses do hurt you in some regards because now you're at the point where if you lose a little bit more, you could be outside looking in. But if you get your act together and start, and come up with a finish, you can actually find yourself in the sixth seed. So the Flyers kind of control their own destiny. But yeah, you must start coming up with the W's instead of falling to the L column.
Yeah, Pat, I agree. And my biggest thing here is you're right. It's a rebuild, and nobody understands that more than I do. And everything that's been happening this season is a cherry on top of there was no expectations. There was absolutely no expectations. So with all the on the ice adversity and all the off the ice adversity this team has faced, to still be talking about them in the playoff race with 9 games left to go in the season is absolutely remarkable. And if John Tortorella is not given not serious consideration, but if he is not a finalist in the Jack Adams Award this year for Coach of the Year, then it's a travesty in the National Hockey League. Regardless of how you might feel about him personally, he's done an amazing job with not only developing this young team, but keeping them together and then having them perform the way they performed.
And I want to ask you that too, Matt. So in this stretch against the heavyweights of heavyweights in the Eastern Conference, we just broke down the record. How do you feel about John Tortorella? I mean, he benched his captain, but he did. To me, he did it for the good of the team. But how do you feel about John Tortorella? If you were Daniel Briere, would you right now give him an extension for a couple more years down the road?
No doubt about it. The Flyers are not there yet. Now, when they do get there, when they do get to a point where they have established veterans, established scores, the message that John Tortorella is selling, no one's going to buy because they're not going to listen to it anymore because they're going to feel beyond that stage, right? So I get that. But right now, he is the perfect guy for this job, and that'll be at least for next year as well. At least for the next 2 years, he should still be the perfect guy for this job. So I would give him an extension, but I'm not going to sell the farm to him. But no, he's my coach for at least the next 2 seasons, or until at least this team begins to sort of kind of come out of this infancy stage they're in and begin to kind of walk on their own. And the perfect example of that, why he's still needed, is games like tonight. I saw Flyers play one of the most dominant stretches of time of hockey in the 36-minute period that I keep referencing to. Was some of the most dominant hockey I've watched them play all season, and they couldn't put them away. They ended up only up 2-1. It should have been like 6-1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how dominant they were. And if they had scores and if they had all the pieces that they need, it would have been 6-1. So there's still a lot of work to be done. They're playing somewhat above their heads a little bit right now. But all this stuff is going to work amazingly for this team going forward into next season. Maybe we bring in a few more veterans. Again, we mentioned Sam Reinhart would look really nice wearing orange and black. He could be a nice little centerpiece. Bring him in, or somebody like that. Sign a scorer. Sign an unrestricted middle, like 27, 28-year-old free agent who can put 30 to 40 goals in the net. Then let's watch this thing take the next step, and we keep building from there. But it was frustrating tonight because this is a game that was there, and there's been so many of those games this year that were there that they just didn't have the horses to pull through, and either be from goaltending issues or lack of scoring. Tonight there was no lack of scoring. They were beating the best goalie and one of the best goalies in the world, and they were doing it pretty handily and towards the back end of the game, but they also were not able to keep the puck out of their own net. Defensive breakdowns, there wasn't really that many that I saw tonight for the Flyers. They played a pretty good, not perfect, it's never going to be perfect, but they played a pretty good defensive game, and they were kind of let down by their goalie tonight. It's okay to admit that Urson let them down, and he did tonight.
Yeah, if I'm going to play the blame game, listen, he gets the pie chart. You look at that pie chart. You could blame, if you want to try and blame defense, okay. If you want to try, but yeah, he fell apart today. He fell apart again. The bright lights against one of the best team in the league. You had him on the ropes, and he let it slip away.
That he did, but we'll get this thing restarted for Thursday. Big day Thursday here on the network. Big day. And let's put that up here because I can't wait. Phillies Braves will kick off the Phillies 2024 home and regular season. Zach Wheeler versus Spencer Strider. It was like they never left. We'll get it all started again on Thursday.
That's crazy. You're brave. We are all going to be, again, guys, if like Matt you says, this is the heavy part of our EOP schedule is coming. Matty B and Al are going to have Flyers and Phillies duty. I'll be down at the Wells Fargo Center. I'll be covering lacrosse. It's all hands on deck over here.
Where are you? Oh, they're in. So okay, what time is the lacrosse game?
It's going to be 7 at night. It's a makeup game
Oh
because
yeah.
it's weather cancellations from earlier in the year. So
I was thinking, oh, the Flyers are there. I'm like, no, the Flyers are in Montreal. How could the Flyers be in the
yeah.
Wells Fargo Center at the same time as the Wings? That would not work. But okay, now, but it's gonna be a crazy day at the sports complex. Hopefully the weather holds out. Hopefully the sun does come out. I know it's expected to be 52 and rainy. I hope that doesn't happen. We have a good day of baseball and a good night of hockey. But Pat, where can the folks find you out there?
Guys, right there's my handle, Pat from Ambler. You can find me on Twitter, hit me up, or you can find me on Facebook as Pat Bernard. Guys, listen, my next project here will be Thursday morning. I will be doing Thursday morning at 10 a.m. I will be doing all lacrosse, not lacrosse all the time. I will be doing, hold on, let me put on my jacket trace here. The attack and third. I'll be doing some Union talk, so I will have some Union coverage. Union went big on Saturday night, taking 3-1 win over in Portland. Get the first win of the season. A bunch of draws, but yes, they packed one in. They're going to get ready for a tough Minnesota team come Saturday afternoon. So guys, check me out there Saturday morning. Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. That's it.
Yeah. So again, I'm Matty B. You guys know where you see me all the time. We'll be seeing a lot of each other on Thursday. So just enjoy your day without me, and then I'll make up for it on Thursday. So everybody out there, have a good night. Tough one to swallow tonight. Flyers do get the point. They do keep our playoff hopes rolling. Would have liked to have seen them kind of finish this thing out. But all in all, the gauntlet, I guess you can kind of say for the type of team the Flyers are, the type of expectations we had, that type of gauntlet that those 7 games were, I would say definitely it was a success. The season wasn't ended by the gauntlet. They're still in it, and that's pretty much all you can ask for in a team like this. Now the Flyers will kind of lick their wounds, get ready for Montreal, and then kind of finish this thing out. 9 games left to go in the season. Let's see how they do it. And in the immortal words of Mr. Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.